Right, if we move on to the next fight, we've got a fight which I'm still not that confident on, but I do think I'm still going to be siding with Dalcha Lungiambula, champion. He was actually the champion over at EFC Africa and or maybe it's EFC Worldwide. He was the champion of, but I still think they're the same promotion. And this is one thing I'm gonna bring up, man. I really do like the level of competition that Dalcha Lungiambula was fighting before he fought in the UFC. Like, if you looked at his record all the way up, he's fighting fights that kind of make sense for him at the time. And Alan Badeau win, throwing in there with a 26-second KO. Sean Austin as well. He's been in good guys before he made it to the UFC. He came in, and now he's 2-2. He's fighting Cody Brundage, who was 0-1 in the UFC, 0-1 in Dana White's Contender Series. One thing that I really don't like about Cody Brundage, he may have an amazing wrestling background, but I don't like the level of competition that he's been fighting outside of the UFC. When he came into the UFC, when he came to Dana White's Contender Series, even as 5-0, his last two wins were against the same guy who was 13-15 and 13-16. Yeah, that just doesn't really impress me all that much, to be honest, but you do have to admit Cody Brundage does have a very legitimate American wrestling game. Dalcha Lungiambula, though, he's from Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and he was a judoka for Congo. I think he was actually was he a national representative for Congo in judo, I think in 2007 to 2009. So he does have a ground game of his own. He can take people down, he can trip Cody Brundage to the ground if he wants to. But it's almost like he doesn't mind the fight being on the feet. And I like Dalcha Lungiambula's chances in this fight, as long as the fight is on the feet for sure. He's got power, man. He's got power on the feet, and I don't think Cody Brundage, at this point, only 28 years old, so still young, still up and coming, and still developing. I just don't think that he's developed the stand-up to hang with Dalcha Lungiambula in this one here. Cody Brundage's path to victory is very, very obvious in my opinion. And that is to wrestle his way to a decision win, or to wrestle his way until at least Dalcha Lungiambula gasses out. Because that's the thing with Dalcha Lungiambula. This guy is built. This guy is built for the middleweight division. I think he was was he a light heavyweight, a heavyweight champion at EFC before the UFC. This guy's got muscle, and this guy is a big boy. And he's fighting Cody Brundage, who I think was also a light heavyweight champion outside of the UFC as well. But just not against the same level of competition, in my opinion, for sure. Dalcha Lungiambula, not a tall boy, but he does have a reach advantage. He's 5'8" with a 76-inch reach. Cody Brundage, on the other hand, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. I like Dalcha Lungiambula's chances to land on the chin, but it's definitely worth noting, though, Cody Brundage, if he can get his wrestling off early, if he can get his wrestling off in that first round, he could gas out Dalcha Lungiambula, because he does slow down in the second and third round. He's carrying around a lot of muscle, and that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be able to carry that cardio for all 3 rounds at a very steady pace. So if Cody Brundage is able to take down Dalcha Lungiambula at the start of the first round and control him for the first round, I think he's going to gas out Dalcha and potentially work his way to a win. But one thing I like about Dalcha is his takedown defense, man. His takedown defense is sitting at 75% in the UFC. He also does shoot for takedowns himself. Two takedowns per 15 minutes with a 46% accuracy. On the other hand, Cody Brundage is shooting for takedowns. He was shooting for a lot of takedowns against Maximov. Not too sure about the William Knight fight, but he's definitely shooting for a lot of takedowns against Maximov, but he wasn't really landing them with only 25% accuracy across the Dana White's Contender Series fight and his UFC debut on short notice against Nick Maximov, might I add. But I'm going to trust Dalcha Lungiambula to keep the first round on the feet. I think he's going to outstrike Cody Brundage, and I think over time maybe Dalcha could potentially be looking to take the fight to the ground, but I do think as long as the fight is on the feet, Dalcha's going to find the success. He's got the KO power. I'm picking Lungiambula by KO or by decision. Brundage, though, definitely has a good spot in this fight to win the decision. I know Cody from Blood Money MMA Bets has a lot of confidence in Dalcha Lungiambula, but unfortunately, I just can't share the same level of confidence as he does. I'm going to go Dalcha Lungiambula, but with not as much confidence. I'm going to pick him to win by KO or decision.